What is the worst thing you've seen someone get addicted to, that wasn't any form of drug like substance or alcohol? So, it's not a drug exactly, but I knew a kid that got addicted to huffing refrigerant. He'd take a garbage bag and fill it with an air conditioner's Freon, then huff the bag. If he was around and your air conditioner stopped working, you'd know why. Random homeowners had to pay a few $100s to recharge their units because of this guy. That whomping sensation he loved so much was the feeling of brain cells dying. His life decelerated quickly and I never saw him again. Pudding. I worked with a guy whose wife signed him up for a Pudding of the Month club as a gag gift. Turns out the guy really likes pudding. I borrowed a power saw from him one time and he showed me a section of his basement that was just shelves and shelves of pudding. Pudding cups, instant pudding, the kind you have to cook. He even had a chest freezer filled with some weird foreign kind of pudding pop. He actually looked pretty good considering all the sugar he ate. Easily gambling. Hell, I'd say gambling addictions are often worse than substance addictions. Plenty of people have lost everything to a gambling addiction: their jobs, families, houses, and lives. And unlike many substance addictions, gambling addictions can be completely unknown until all of a sudden when you realize everything is gone because your partner gambled it away. Me. Fuck my life. Started Gamblers Anonymous last week. Hope I'm done for good. This will sound stupid, but World of Warcraft. I know a person who lost an incredible job and broke up at least seemingly good, relationship due to their complete addiction to World of Warcraft. Yep. Had a friend whose wife literally had to threaten divorce with bags packed and car running, before he'd quit. He would get up early, play, go to work, come home, play and then sleep and repeat. Weekends he'd be on 16 hours a day. Ignored his wife and kids the whole time. Stupid thing is, 2 years later she let him start playing again. Guess what happened? TikTok, social media, doom scrolling, Reddit, for that one dude, and every day I see more and more examples. Even worse, some days I am one. I kid you not, but I had to therapy myself to left Instagram. I was so fucking addicted to it. The first week was the worst. I reopened my account at least twice in the next few weeks. Took me like a month to leave the damn thing for good. It was like my life was boring without it. My mental health improved a lot just by leaving that shit. A toxic boy. It was like my daughter was a junkie for him and he treated her like shit. It was horrible. She would cry every day, the littlest thing would make her bawl. Finally, when she was crying one day and said, "I feel like I'm dying inside," I told her dad we needed to do something. I took her to a faraway state where my best friend lives and we gave her a month-long vacay. She had a blast. Their relationship didn't even last 3 days when she got home. I think she realized there was more to life. Which was the goal. My mom would only drink Diet Coke, Heineken, or Long Island iced tea. Any one of those would wash down the constant Advil she took, because all she did all day was sit at the computer in chat rooms. Diet Coke and the computer were her life. She was also addicted to bleaching her hair and tanning until she was as dark as her Coke. You'd think she'd be dead by now from all that, but somehow she's still alive at 64. If anything, she's artificially preserved herself. Like when you see an old alcoholic who's basically pickled themselves. That wouldn't surprise me. She did the same thing to her poodle. She only fed him McDonald's hamburgers. Poor thing wouldn't even eat dog food. Spiritual healer. My friend started seeing this spiritual healer a few times a month. As far as I know, they did some sort of past lives travels and supposedly she has a lot of past lives traumas or whatever. The healer told her to do some sort of drug trip, which left her very ill for several weeks. But she went back to the healer as soon as she was able. Several months later she started to act increasingly paranoid. One day she ended up in the psychiatric hospital with psychosis. She wasn't able to understand which life is the one right now and which ones aren't real. She also thought that everyone was out to get her. 3 weeks in the hospital, got out and went straight to her healer session. In the last year she has quit her job that she had an education for and moved back with her abusive parents from her own apartment. She has become more reclusive, introverted and tired. And the spark she had as a young woman starting her life. Gone. Those damn healers should be illegal. Shopping. A friend's girlfriend barely leaves the house except for work, and she shops online obsessively. Their garage is a solid cube of stuff, much of it unopened. Every inch of their home is crammed. There must be 150 scented candles in that house. He says he comes home every day to a stack of deliveries. This was both me and my husband a couple of years ago. My shopping addiction started when he was doing heavy chemo and I started online shopping to cope. I would get into something, like fake flowers or fawn print, and just go ape buying that one particular thing until I moved on to another interest. Then when he recovered we bought a house and his shopping addiction started with going to Lowe's and Home Depot every other day. He had multiples of every power tool under the sun in Milwaukee, Ryobi, I don't know some other brand. At one point he had 4 leaf blowers. It all got to be way too much for us both and now we are pursuing a minimalist lifestyle and donating or selling nearly everything including the house. It really becomes burdensome trying to go through life dragging a mountain of possessions along with you. Now it's only the essentials and a few sentimental items and we are both feeling much better and less stressed in general. Porn, smut books or sex. My ex-wife read and watched so much that it blurred her sense of reality and she decided she wanted to live like that. It ruined our marriage. I was reading some smut books and as a woman, I realized that those books are legit making me delusional unless I can remember that they are not real life. Those types of books made me more insecure than anything in real life and that delusion gave me anxiety. It took me a while to realize that my mind was making shit up that wasn't really there. It can be problematic as fuck, so I had to stop reading stuff like that. World of Warcraft. We had 2 babies and his entire existence was built around WoW. He had no other hobbies, no other friends, no other activities. I tried to get him to participate in our family and my efforts were tossed aside. I tried implementing no technology days during the week and he cried. I tried signing us up for relationship excursions and he refused. He did 0 cooking, cleaning, shopping, maintenance. All he did was go to work, and play WoW. That's it. He did nothing else. I had to serve him dinner every night at his computer because he couldn't spare 5 minutes to be with his wife and kids. I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to find another partner because that's not what I signed up for. I left him in 2011. It broke him. He was beyond devastated, my leaving him destroyed him. I know there was a point where reality clicked for him and he realized he was losing his life over a game, but I was so far gone at that point, there was no fixing it, I was completely done. His entire existence was in this video game and he lost everything because of it. I wonder what kind of life we could have had with our 2 daughters. Instead we meet in the McDonald's parking lot to swap the kids every other weekend. I can't imagine how hard that must have been and I'm so sorry you went through that. I think it's good you realize though that our time on this world is finite and you deserved a better experience for you and your children. I hope you and your family are well. I hope he is too and has found a way forward. I got married a while after the divorce and he did the same. We have both now been with our new spouses for over a decade. He has made a few statements over the years about how he screwed up and at one point, he got rid of all of his gaming equipment. One thing I left out of my comment is that I worked full-time throughout all of this. We both had full-time jobs, so it's not like I was a stay-at-home mom or anything. I worked 40 hours a week at a very difficult job and then did everything else, while he was a warlock. For myself, anorexia. I'm addicted to feeling in control of myself and shit. Weird this is, logically I'm so out of control. Sex. Ex-best friend / roommate of mine put herself in horrifically dangerous situations, with so many different awful, dangerous, abusive people, just to get the fix she needed. She was very self-aware about what dangerous decisions she was making, or at least she claimed to be when I talked about my concerns, but she couldn't or wouldn't stop. We'd go somewhere together and she'd meet a total stranger and ditch me to run off and fuck them, which hurt me deeply too. Would get drunk and play up her drunkenness to attract a sex partner, which means she was fucking people who liked to fuck girls who were shit-faced drunk. She couldn't seem to survive without getting it constantly, and since she never had a long-term partner, she went with whoever would give her a compliment first, and these people she hooked up with wound up hurting her terribly almost every time. She had no sense of self-worth or happiness outside of being a sexual partner for someone else. My heart broke for her every time. Have a friend with the same issue. This sounds like childhood trauma. Oh, it absolutely was. 1. I was addicted to milk for years. I'd go through a gallon of 2% per day. Ended up kicking the habit after I went with my best friend to stay with his sister across the country. Really couldn't just drop a, "Hey, can you run me to the store so I can snag 7 gallons of milk?" 2. ARC. During 2015, I worked third shift 10 to 7 and once I got home I would get on Xbox and play ARC from 8 to 5. Sleep for 4.5 hours and do it again. On my days off I would play sometimes for 16 hours straight. Kick that when some meathead decided to wipe our tribe off the server. Nasal spray. I've been doing a lot of research on Afrin lately, and the fact that it can just cause rebound congestion like that is scary. Makes you wonder why it's even on shelves. I've been addicted to Afrin since high school. I'm 43. I've managed to get it down to 50% Afrin, 50% saline, but any more diluted and my entire head and breathing ability shuts down. It fucking sucks. Always have one by my bed, and one in my purse. When I travel I take 3 just in case. Tats. I have a friend who is in a lot of debt, but whenever he hits payday he gets some new ink instead of paying down his debt. As a tattoo artist, I see this a lot from people that would really benefit from therapy or mental health care, but it's not always accessible, so they seem to treat the tattoo process as a form of self-therapy. I don't agree with that at all obviously, but I do feel for whatever they must be internally trying to process. Also see this a lot from people that just don't seem to have meaningful connections with the people in their lives. Like I'm the only genuine form of social interaction they get. They just need someone to actually listen to them a lot of the time. Candy Crush. It's digital cocaine. I knew it was time to quit when I started having dreams about playing. Relationships. When someone can't stand being single for any length of time, and once they enter that relationship, they push all other friends aside because that new man or woman is all that matters. This is my sister, she's in her 30s. They usually last 6 weeks to 6 months and they're all the same dude in a different package. She's ruined so many relationships with people who love her for some lame-ass dude of the season. Reflecting on and addressing your pain is a walk in the park compared to constantly re-traumatizing yourself in order to avoid it. Easier said than done, still doesn't make it any easier to watch. I heard she's finally started therapy after breaking up with the last guy, so maybe there's hope? Doom scrolling social media, but also doom scrolling / participating in certain subgroups on the internet. I had a friend who broke her ankle and she joined a Facebook support group for her type of ankle break, needed surgery. At first I thought it was good for her until she'd mentioned spending over 4 hours a day in the group, became obsessed with her ankle and convinced the surgical steel would cause an allergy once she got it done. She and I were both in the same industry as freelance / contractors, and she stopped working steadily because of the group. Now she's healed, it's been over a year, and she's still spending hours on the group and spends all day stressing about lost mobility. I understand how painful that experience must have been, but I can't think this addiction to her ankle group made it better. She can walk fine without any aids and still won't take an office job. Exercise. I used to manage a store at a mall, and the gym was in the same hallway. I used to see this guy walking in the gym and then walking out 3 hours later every single shift I had. Over the years, I saw him slowly deteriorate to the point where he was walking with a cane and still lifting constantly. I don't know if it had to do with excessive exercise or if it was something else, but it was incredibly sad to see. Young guy. That was me. I had a set routine of 1 hour, no less, every morning. After work, another hour of cardio plus weights. At one point, I had 2 gym memberships. I'd do cardio at one gym, then leave and go to CrossFit. On weekends it went up to 2 hours. I was frequently late to everything because I had to finish a workout no matter what. It was mechanical, X number of minutes, calories, or steps must be done. I'd work out sick, tired, injured. My knees, shoulders, and hips are still shot. Plus, I'm dealing with the metabolic rebound. Everyone praised my hardcore ethic and dedication, even though I knew it was causing me problems. But I'm more balanced now, even though that pull is still there. Dota 2. Gosh darn it. Dota 2 got me for a year and I quit when I realized how bad it was. Racked up 1,400 hours in less than a year, it was almost at the point of interfering with my job at the time. Well, it interfered, but I didn't lose my job just in time. Donating to streamers, more specifically IRL and lolcows. I've seen dudes drop serious cash just to mess with someone. A friend of mine is a streamer on Twitch. She did a fundraiser cause she needed a new computer and she didn't want to pay for it. She raised $3,000 in an hour for it from her subs. I couldn't believe it. Sugar, dude. I dated a girl who wanted me to kick sugar. I toss out all my old food. Purchased more and lasted 36 hours. For me to stick to that, you would have had to lock me in a padded room and feed me under the door. I'd rather get addicted to heroin and kick that than try to kick sugar again. My whole body ached and the horror of realizing all the food I like is off the menu. Conspiracy thinking. I've seen people turn so paranoid they've completely ceased to function, over the most baseless bullshit. That they're like dead inside now they're gone. Second Life. In 10 years that I've been on it, I've spent $4,000 total. There are people who I know that have spent more, and I thought I was bad. I have a couple friends who are shopaholics on that thing and they will throw money just to get them all for a pretty picture to show around on Facebook and Flickr. If you think Second Life shopping is bad, you should see the sex club and virtual escort side. Men, for the most part, spending thousands of dollars per month to have virtual sex on voice with a random girl who usually fake the whole thing while their avatar is pixel fucking. And they can't stop. They need it like a drug fix, every day for some of them. I am in Second Life since 16 years, but for me it's one of many hobbies and nothing too serious, but I did eventually meet a guy that seemed interesting. Well, I found out pretty quickly he was spending over 1,500 euros per month on Second Life. It was all his extra money. I was wondering why a guy in his situation had little to no savings. Thankfully we were still at the early dating phase, as I knew him since only a few weeks and I was not too emotionally attached yet, so I walked away. He told me I wasn't understanding enough. Hoarding. I volunteered my time cleaning a hoarding situation one summer. The lady's name was Mary Masonholder and she had been hoarding everything she came across for 10 years, after her husband died. They lived on their own horse grange with a built-in stadium, I shit you not, where they held competition and rodeos. In her sadness she stopped caring about herself. Her house had no walkways in it, just trash piled everywhere. She had a sweet little white mop dog that hadn't gone outside for years, leaving waste all over the place. She had horses with stalls that had not been cleaned for years. The stall floors were each caked in more than a foot of solid packed horse manure. I'm not exaggerating when I say using that pickaxe felt like I was hitting concrete. Long story short, that place got cleaned up and sold. She ended up buying a neat little one-bedroom house, close to my high school. In the early morning before school, I'd sometimes wander over to say hi. She was always up with a big smile and a ton of cookies. Sometimes I think about her. I think about how much sadness can take over when you are alone. And then I think about how much happiness, how much life she had left, after she felt like people cared. Rest in peace, Mary, sweet lady. I hope you too are at peace riding those trails. Self-pity. This is a strange one, hard to grasp until you get to know someone who does it. Had a friend who I don't speak to anymore because I legit couldn't talk to him about anything. Obviously can't talk about his life, or ask him how he's doing. Get scolded for that. Something bad happened to me? He's got it worse, I should be grateful. Something good? I shouldn't be bragging. Even seemingly mundane stuff would set him off. Strangest thing, there is a reason envy is one of the 7 deadly sins. It wasn't a person, but a cat that was addicted to its own purring. Yeah, seriously. When cats purr, it releases those happy chemicals in the brain, like a drug would, only you can't exactly take this away. Poor thing would sit there, purring so loudly you could hear him in the next room, and was always drooling on himself, looking very much like a drug user. We think he came from a neglected situation and learned to self-soothe in this fashion, and it took on a life of its own. He really wasn't able to function like a cat, couldn't play, he'd eat, but only in a few bites at a time. But he was the biggest, drooling love bug ever. Like, if you wanted a cat that was most like a stuffed animal, he'd fit the bill. My elderly neighbor adopted him, and to my knowledge, both lived out their days together, snuggling and cuddling and being as content as possible.